Hey there! Today's video is a spring decor challenge hosted by Heidi Sonboul. Welcome back to the Schwowin's Nest. My name is Sandra and I'm glad you stopped by. Let's get crafting. Today's project is super easy. I'm using these leftover roses from a bridal shower that I decorated. I'm showing you the lamb's ear, but I don't end up using it. And this is a Dollar Tree wreath form. For this wreath, I'm only going to need the interior 2 lines of this form, so I'm just going to use my snips and trim it to size. Using hot glue, I'm going to glue the rose onto the wires, the inside and the outside wire. So all I've got to do is make sure that that hot glue hits on either side, and then it will be nice and secure. I'm going to do 3 blooms in each of the sections, and I'm just going to be repeating this process until I get it nice and full. Altogether, I used 18 of these roses. Okay, so now I've skipped forward. I've got all of the roses glued on, and I'm just snipping some extra foliage that I kept from another project. I always keep the greens because there's always a use for them. And what I'm going to do is just make this back part nicer. I don't like the glue and everything showing, so I'm just going to use these leaves and I'm going to glue them all the way around and just make the backing a little bit prettier to look at. I'll be posting this wreath on my Etsy shop, so I wanted it to have a finished and professional look. So on to project 2. This is a thrifted frame that I painted white a while ago because I had plans for it, but that didn't end up using it. I'm taking a wooden pallet from Walmart and I'm going to fit the pallet right inside the frame, and I got lucky because it just fits exactly. Using my Rustoleum linen white chalk paint, I'm going to give the palette 1 coat, and then I'm going to make sure I get in between and all around the edges so everything is white. The stencil I'm going to use is Bloom Where You Are Planted. I think that's perfect for spring. And it is part of a batch of stencils that I got at Joann Fabrics when I was in Florida at the end of January. So if you want to see those stencils, I will have the link to them in the description box below. You can see here that the stencil doesn't fit exactly on the palette, so I'm just going to be adjusting each of the words and placing them on the palette separately. You're probably wondering why I'm putting it off to the side and not centering it, but in a few minutes you're going to see what I'm going to do with that little section on the left. I used my pencil to trace out the letters. For this sign, I did not want to use a stencil effect with a brush. I'm using my Craft Smart oil-based paint pens, and I'm using 2 sizes. The first one is a chisel tip, so it's a fairly thick one, like a big permanent marker, and the second one is a smaller, narrower tip, and that's what I like to use to outline my stencils. Here's a look at both of them together so you can see the comparison of the fine tip in relation to the chisel tip. I'm going to use the fine tip to outline the letters, and then I'm going to use the chisel tip to color them in. At first I thought I would just do the thin areas with the fine tip marker, but then I decided to go ahead and just outline all of the letters. It would just make it easier for filling it in. I'm going to glue this in with my Weld Bond glue. I'm going to use hot glue a little bit later on, but I want this to have a really firm hold. I don't ever want it to pop out, and I'm going to be guaranteed that with this glue. So I'm just going to put a nice thick bead all the way around the frame, place my palette inside, make it straight, and then I'm going to put some weights on it and let it cure for a couple of hours. The original palette had a nice sawtooth hanger on it, so I unscrewed it from that and screwed it into the back of the frame. I ended up needing to do a little bit of paint touch-up all around the palette edges. In one of the corners there was a bit of a gap where the palette didn't actually glue down with the weld bond glue, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of extra security with some hot glue. So seeing this as spring decor, who doesn't love a little lavender? I'm going to add some lavender to the sign. I'm also going to use some lamb's ear leaves to dress up the stem. I am in love with how this turned out. I'd like to thank Heidi Sonboul for hosting this challenge, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share my videos. Don't forget to click that bell to get notified when I upload new content. More great trash to treasure and thrift store finds coming soon.